Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 8 things that I wish I knew when I began my master's here in the United States. And these 8 points could be considered as living essentials. So be sure to pay attention to this video and watch it till the very end, and let's get started. So the first thing would be to set up housing, right? The first question that everyone has when they arrive in the United States is, how do I set up housing? So, well, this might differ slightly from location to location, but I'm going to tell you how it's done around NC State. And I'm betting that if you are in a different university in a different state, it's going to be similar. So pay attention, right? You have to apply to housing through an online website, preferably the website of the housing property. And it's a little bit different from how you would generally apply for housing in India. So you kind of have to fill up an application online on the website and then submit a deposit of like I don't know, maybe $100 or like $200 or maybe more to secure your position in queue. And the apartments are given to people based on a first come first served basis. That is, first people who have their names in the queue are the first one who get the apartments when they get freed up. So it's useful to start applying early, meaning if you are moving in the August of a year, you probably start applying February or March of that year, because the good places tend to get filled out quickly. So you want to keep that in mind. Yeah, you're gonna have to do most of this online, and you're gonna have to apply for housing much like you apply for a college program or acceptance at the university or something like that. So keep that in mind. So secondly, how do you find roommates, right? So the best case scenario is you have friends who are going to the same university with you, and you just kind of sync up and become roommates. That way, you know that you're going to be compatible and you won't have any problems staying with those people. Now, what happens when you don't know anyone and you're moving to a brand new university, right? So in this case, I'd suggest go to Facebook housing groups and try and find people who are moving to the same location you are. So essentially, there would be, so for NC State, there'd be like a housing group near NC State campus. There'd be one for just Raleigh in general or something else. So you would probably have housing groups for your university or your city or something like that. So join those groups, and then you'll find posts from people who are looking for roommates. So if you're going to university, you're going to find posts from other students saying, hey, I'm looking for roommates, or someone says that, hey, we're looking for one more roommate, we already have 3 people, we just need a 4th person, something like that. So you kind of want to talk to those people, maybe, get their numbers, figure out whether you like them or not, just kind of interact with them, and that way you can get like a vibe of how it is and how it's going to be when you show up. But I highly recommend you start doing this as early as possible, and if possible, try and like meet these people like face to face, kind of, because I believe that it's actually impossible to know someone to any degree of certainty through like completely virtually. You can only truly know someone's personality when you meet them face to face. So I don't know, take it for what it's worth, and just yeah, start looking for roommates as soon as possible. Yeah, don't leave it until the very end. Okay, number 2, how do you buy furniture, right? Quick tip: if you're moving in on August 1st, and if you show up in the United States on, say, July 15th, which means 2 weeks before your move-in date, you're gonna find a lot of people who are moving out in that time period. And a lot of those people, I mean, moving out of your apartment building or your apartment complex or something like that, and a lot of those people are going to throw away furniture, like good furniture, and they're going to like throw it away simply because they don't have the ability to take it with them to the new place they're moving to. So sometimes, people rent a U-Haul while moving from one place to another, and then they realize that moving is kind of a hassle in general, but then they realize that, hey, I have too many tables or too many desks or something in my apartment, and I don't really need everything, like I don't really like need all of that, so I'm just gonna take the ones I do need to my new apartment, and the ones I don't need I'm just gonna throw away. And people usually have to leave on like such short notice, or like they don't like plan these things out beforehand, so they kind of tend to like just leave stuff out for free. Like they'll take good quality furniture and just leave it out near like a dumpster or like a trash thing place. Either that, or they'll like keep it somewhere where you can see it in your apartment, and they'll like stick a note on it that says free. So when you see either of those two things, you know that it's like up for grabs, and then the only question is, can you move that piece of furniture to your new place? So this is actually a really convenient method of getting furniture. So, and like nobody will like judge you for it. So it's like a thing here in the US. It's normal. It's you can like just pick up furniture that other people threw away and like use it. You may be like a little bit foreign, or you might think this is like weird, or like you might be like uncomfortable with this, but the more you stay here, the more you realize that this is something that like people do, and mostly because it makes sense, because buying good furniture is expensive, and you're most likely going to show up to an unfurnished apartment, and it doesn't really make sense to spend a lot of money on furniture when the only thing you need is like a couple of chairs and a couch. And someone is throwing away a 5-year-old couch. 5 years isn't that old for a couch, so you can pretty much just reuse it the way you want. So that's something you want to keep in mind. It's the easiest way to get free furniture. Secondly, if you missed that period of time where people throw stuff out, and you arrived late to the US and you don't have furniture, I'd say, so for NC State students, I'd say go to the NC State surplus sale. It's like a sale where they sell off university desks and chairs and equipment and stuff for like really cheap. If you're wondering how to transport that stuff to your apartment because you don't have a car, I think NC State offers like pickup services and like trucks and stuff like that temporarily and for extremely cheap to help students do this. If you're not from NC State, same thing. I suggest if you have any yard sales or official like furniture sales going on at your university where you can get stuff for like super cheap, probably go ahead and do that. It's gonna be your best bet when it comes to like free furniture. Thirdly, if you missed the surplus sales and you also missed the free stuff, your next better bet would be to go to Amazon and just order stuff online. I'm pretty sure you can get the furniture that you want on Amazon. Keep in mind, you will have to build this stuff yourself, so it's going to come in pieces in a box, and you're going to have to construct the stuff with screws and stuff. And if you don't want to buy stuff online, you could go to your nearest IKEA store or your nearest furniture store and just like buy stuff from there, right? Okay, number 3, Facebook Marketplace, right? So Facebook Marketplace is a thing over here in America, right? So it's used for buying and selling secondhand items, sometimes even first-hand items, and it's actually pretty good because you get a lot of like really, really cheap deals over there for all manners of things, from electronics to like mattresses to just pretty much anything you could want, right? And the reason I'm mentioning this is, if you want like a monitor or something, or like a keyboard, or I don't know, something really cheap for your desk setup, or something that you really need to like decorate your room or stuff like that, and you don't know where to buy it from, and you don't want to buy it from Amazon at full price, highly likely you'll find someone on Facebook Marketplace in your area selling that thing, right? This is a great way to get cheap items. Usually the quality of the items is the same as the people that post these items on Facebook Marketplace. So that's there. Keep in mind that if you want to buy something from Facebook Marketplace, you're usually gonna have to go to the house of the person who sold that thing to pick it up, or meet him at a common location. Whereas if you want to sell something, you could give your location of your house, and the other person has to come and pick it up. My point being that if you don't have a car and the person you're buying stuff from lives halfway across the city, it could be a little bit tricky to go to his place and pick that stuff up because you don't have transport. So if you don't have a car, it's actually easier to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace than to buy stuff. But if you can figure out transport, yeah, I mean, just keep that in mind. So that's the thing. Usually, I'd say buying electronics on Facebook Marketplace is safe. People are trustworthy, and the quality of the product is usually what they'll say online, and you can test it and stuff and all of that. So obviously there's going to be like 1 or 2% of people who are trying to scam you, but that's like a pretty low number, I'd say. And overall, I've used it a bunch of times. I'd say it's like pretty safe, and you get a bunch of really good deals there, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna talk about Walmart and Target, right? So what happens if you want to buy some everyday stuff? Like, let's say you want to buy a kind of organizing cabinet, or a screwdriver, or a hammer, or something which you don't really know where to buy it from, and you're thinking, okay, wait a minute, I don't have any stores near me that sell that kind of thing, and I don't know if I should buy this on Amazon because it's gonna take me like a week to arrive, and you're like unsure how to buy that thing because you don't have any stores near you that sell that specific product. I'd suggest you keep calm and go to either Walmart or Target. These stores are huge, they are massive mega stores. Walmart will have basically every product you're possibly ever gonna need in there, under their roof, from groceries to electronics, clothes, appliances, everything, bikes, literally everything everything you could possibly want, you're most likely gonna find at Walmart. You could order, if you know where your nearest Walmart or Target is, you could just like kind of take a cab one day and go and find the stuff that you're looking for. Or if you don't have one near you, you could kind of order from them online, I think, using like Walmart Plus, or like Target has its own corresponding thing, but you can order from them online. But my point is, if you want to buy something, a product, if you want to buy something and you don't really know where to buy it from, there's a very high chance that Walmart or Target sells that thing, because they're like huge stores, right? And they sell practically everything. So keep that in mind. Now, if you want everyday groceries, I'd suggest you just go to your the closest like big grocery store near you. So here in the US, practically all grocery stores are like kind of massive. So we have one called Food Lion. It's a chain. They're mostly all just chains of stores. It could be Harry's Teeter, Aldi's, Wegmans, or something like that. Just find the one nearest to you, and you're probably gonna find all the groceries that you want in that store. Mark the location on your map, and either go there in person if you have a car, or just order stuff on Instacart and buy the stuff from there. So you should just be ordering stuff from basically one location, and it should be easy that should, solve groceries for you, right? Now, if you're Indian or Asian or I don't know, Chinese, if you want any specific kind of groceries that you don't find at these mega, grocery chains that you have in the US, you kind of have to go to like an Indian grocery store, supermarket, or like an Asian grocery store. If it's like a little bit farther away from where you live, you want to kind of make trips there, not that frequently, maybe once every couple of months, and really stock up on groceries when you do go to the store. So it could be for stuff like ginger garlic paste, or Indian masalas, or I don't know, just some kind of like what Indian vegetables that you don't really get at the main supermarkets. So when you want stuff like this, you kind of have to go there to buy this stuff, and you won't really be able to buy it from like the main supermarkets. So paneer, if you're Indian, you don't really get like paneer in like these big supermarket stores. Paneer is like a kind of cottage cheese. You'll get that stuff specifically on the Indian store, so you're gonna have to go to one to buy it. So Indian stores are sometimes standalone stores. You'll find them just uniquely at different locations, or there's like a chain called 612 which also sells Indian groceries. So if you have one near you, you could go to there. That's pretty cool, but it might not have everything because it's not like it's pretty big, but it's not like a massive store. I've seen individual like Indian grocery stores that are like supermarkets, like pretty huge. So now that we've talked about the basic stuff like groceries, food, housing, and stuff like that, now let's talk about a little more serious information, right? So how would you set up a doctor appointment here in the US, right? I think that's an important question, and I think everyone's gonna wonder that at some point or another in their first year here. So, for NC State, you have NC State Student Health Services, and you can pretty much, I think, set up free appointments there, but you have to keep in mind your insurance. So I have like Student Blue, which is the university recommended insurance, and I think under that insurance, all appointments for student health or on-campus doctors are free for me. But if you have any other kind of insurance plan, please make sure to understand the coverage that you have and the benefits that come along with that plan. I suggest it's probably a better idea to take a little bit of a more expensive insurance plan, like probably the one which your university recommends to you, simply because health crisis and health issues don't really announce themselves before they show up. So when something goes wrong, you kind of want to have like a backup or like a safe landing pad so you can go somewhere. You don't really want to be struggling to find a doctor when you're sick. That's a terrible thing to do, I think. So make sure to kind of, have that part of that thing set out. It might be tempting to save money on insurance, but it's not the best idea. I think probably play it safe. If you like have to go to the hospital or something someday, or if you get into an emergency, you want your insurance company to pay most of the bills, right? So keep that in mind. Keep in mind, I have to say here that doctor's appointments are not something that you get instantly here in the US. So for example, if you want to make an appointment today, you probably get the next earliest slot 2 days from now. And if you had an emergency today, you're probably gonna have to go to emergency services at a hospital, which is gonna charge you a very large amount of money. So your best bet is to kind of take like really good care of yourself. And if you know that you have a health problem, like if you have like a stomach problem, or if you have, I don't know, fever or COVID, or if you have something that you think is a problem, try and set up like that doctor's appointment like as early as possible so that you get that thing. Because if you have like a health crisis today, like let's say you had a fever and now you're like burning up with 104 degrees fever, and you want to go see a doctor and see what that's about. I mean, your best bet would probably be to go to emergency. I don't think you'd be able to like just call up a doctor and just visit him directly like that. So people here in the US don't usually go to doctors for like very small problems like stomach aches, or I don't know, it's like a sore throat or something. Like they usually go to doctors for like major health conditions, like okay, like something's actually wrong. I need to be diagnosed and be given proper medicine. But if it's something like, I don't know, I just have a sore throat or something minor, people usually tend to take care of themselves and like not just go to a doctor over something like very basic. So keep that in mind. It's kind of hard to get doctor's appointments instantly. So please take good care of your health. And if you think that you need to set up an appointment early. So my NC State campus has physicians. You can set up appointments for free. I guess if you have the corresponding insurance, you can pretty much like set up appointments for free. And if you want to go to a specialist like a cardiologist, I don't know, like a neurologist or a urologist or something of that sort, these specialists would be found off campus, so you won't really find these on campus. So you're gonna have to kind of set up an appointment manually, or if you don't know how to do that, you could contact a doctor on campus, on your university's health system, and tell them your problem, and then that person will usually know a specialist or a network of specialists, and you can kind of go through there, because then your university doctor, your university doctor kind of diagnoses the problem, and then he will recommend you and send you an application to the specialist, who then receives your stuff, and then it's kind of easier to get going like that, rather than to completely cold call like a cardiologist hospital or something like that, who you don't even know them at all, or you don't know how to explain your problem to them. I think it's better to like kind of go through the health system where a general physician recommends the specialist to you, because it's just like easier to like go like that. But yeah, for those doctors, you are gonna have to go on campus, and they are gonna be a little bit more expensive, because once again, it does depend on your insurance. So keep that in mind. But in a nutshell, please take good care of yourself, because doctor's appointments are not something that you get instantly. It's gonna take a little bit of time. So just heads up, be prepared. Yeah, keep yourself healthy. And on the same point of going to a doctor, what happens when you want to buy medicine, right? So if you want to buy medicine, you're gonna have to go to your nearest Walgreens or CVS. So in the US, we have these huge, we call them healthcare providers, but essentially they're like medicine shops, but they're also like supermarkets. They're like huge medicine shops, which basically sell all kinds of medicine. They'll have every kind of medical product you'll ever need. And some of these shops are so big, they even have physicians who come to the shop, and you can get a checkup if you go into the shop within a specific like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever. Like there's some amount of time depending upon the shop. If you go within those hours, you can get a health checkup done, I guess, for like a minimal fee. And it's like a huge like supermarket style medicine shop, and you can pretty much get everything you want from there, right? Off the counter medicine, prescribed medicine, everything, right? They're like huge. And if you want to buy like any particular kind of medicine, your best bet is to go to one of these shops. Please note down the location of the nearest one near you, because in case you have to go there someday. A random tidbit of information. Tylenol is the standard painkiller or just pain reliever that everyone takes here in the US. The duplicate name of Tylenol is acetaminophen. It's the same compound, just produced by a different company. If you're Indian and you want to buy something like Crocin or Calpol, those are basically the same medicine as Tylenol, but it's just branded differently because they're produced by different companies in India, and here it's called Tylenol, so it's basically the same product. So that's your everyday painkiller, pain remover kind of medicine. So just like heads up, it's a useful 101 right of information. So yeah, be sure to visit your Walgreens or CVS if you need stuff. Now the last two tips will not be about like setting stuff up, but will more be about just everyday life here in the US, especially if you're a student. So the first thing would be about attending classes, right? So I'm making this video in August 2022. If you're just coming to the US for a master's right now during this time, I think it's highly probable that your university has hybrid classes on at this moment, meaning you have the option to go to class, but you also have the option to watch recordings online to like video lectures and stuff, and just watch the recordings online, and you don't have to like physically go to class, right? I highly suggest that in such a setting you do actually go to class because, well, number one, you get to meet people of your own age, and it feels like a college setting, and you get to hang out with people of your own age group and make friends, and you're paying a lot of money for these courses, so you might as well go to college and make the most out of it, right? It just feels better, it feels more natural, and you have a social aspect to it. And then number two, we're going to be on top of things. So as the university, the course progresses, you're gonna have more and more stuff that gets added onto your plate, and your time management will need to get better and better if you want to kind of finish everything that you have on your plate at the end of the day. And near the end of the semester, you might find yourself with a backlog of lectures, with like you have 4 or 5 lectures on like some particular subject that you're behind on, and then it gets tricky because you have assignments and then this and that. So I highly suggest that you go to class, because that way at least you're certain that you're on top of the lectures, because a lot of the times these lectures have important information, especially near the end of the semester when you have deadlines and stuff like that. So a professor will tell you like some really important tidbit of information which is going to be like less useful to you if you view that like 2 weeks later in the future. So I highly suggest like you go to class, or just make your best effort to go to class, such that you stay on top of things and you'll just like feel better overall. You'll just be more productive. So yeah, that's the thing. And lastly, I want to talk about getting around campus. So usually every university city, or like these cities that have universities, will have a bus system that helps you get around from one place to another. So each city will have like a public a bus system, which I'm not talking about Google Maps, but like a bus system which shows you the live locations of different buses as well as their routes, and it'll show you the bus routes in and around campus, so you know where a bus is. If you want to, I want to wait at a bus stop to catch the next one. For NC State, it's called Translock, so you can use that app to see the location of all the live buses. If you're at a different university at a different state, find out the app which people of your university use. Is going to be really easy. For Translock, I'm going to give you some very basic bus routes really fast, right? So if you want to go from Avon Ferry Road to Gorman or to Hillsborough, you want to go to 52. If you want to go from Avon Ferry to Tally Student Union, you can take 50. Well, you can take 52 and walk a little bit, or you can take 11 or 11L. 50 has changed. It doesn't go to Tally anymore, so you know that's a bummer. But other than that, if you want to go from Avon Ferry or anywhere close by there to Centennial, which is where classes take place for STEM courses, you're gonna have to take 42. So yeah, check out the app, find out the bus routes that you need. It'll make your life easier. Or if you're smart, buy a cycle or buy a mode of transport so you don't have to wait for the bus system, and you're gonna save huge amounts of time and effort and everything, and just make your life way easier. But yeah, it's up to you. These are the 8 points that I had for this video. I really wanted to make this so that people coming here have an easier time settling in than we did, and you don't have to figure everything out by yourself. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what other stuff you'd like to see, or what if you have any video ideas that you'd like to see on my channel, and I might pick some of them up soon. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you're doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, bye for now. Have a great day.